Hey there, Lego fam. It's Justin, and you're watching Good Life Bricks. Thanks for joining me again. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Lego Star Wars set 75364. This is the New Republic E-Wing versus Shin Hati's Starfighter. Now, this set was inspired by the Ahsoka series, which came out in late 2023. And it recently got a second season. And so it was well received, and there were plenty of great surprises in it. This is one of 2 or 3 different sets that came from that series. And it's also a set that just retired. It retired December 31st of 2024. So it's 1,056 pieces. It has 5 unique minifigures that only belong to this set, and it was $110 at launch. So I look forward to going through these builds and the 5 minifigs that come with it. Before we do that, I just want to ask you to remember, if you would please like the video and if you would subscribe to the channel. Both of those things would help me a lot. We're starting to see a little bit of growth, and I'm excited about that. And I want to continue to provide great reviews, and reviews that will be helpful as you think about sets that you may want or questions you may have about certain sets that exist. And my goal is to be able to do a review on every set out there, certainly starting with the sets that I own. So if you would do that, that would help me a lot. That would help the channel, and that would give me the opportunity to continue to put out good content. So I hope you enjoy it, and let's go ahead and dig in. This is a little bit of a closer look at Lego Star Wars set 75364, the New Republic E-Wing versus Shin Hati's Starfighter. Again, this was taken right out of the Ahsoka series, and these were not necessarily builds that we had seen. Certainly in the Lego world, we hadn't seen them. But the ship, like Shin Hati's ship, this was the first time that we'd seen a ship like this. The E-Wing may have been briefly in The Mandalorian, but I really can't remember, and I didn't really check. And then we have a good look at these 5 minifigures. This is the New Republic astromech droid. A little bit lazy there. We didn't get a name for this guy, but typical astromech, but with some kind of bright yellow and dark blue coloring. Then we have Captain Porter, who I also believe was in The Mandalorian. I think we may have seen him there, and I'll have to look into that one a little bit more. Morgan Elsbeth, who we saw in The Mandalorian, and then we also, of course, saw in Ahsoka. So the Morgan Elsbeth minifigure has been made twice. This is the first one, and the second one they gave her actual legs. This one just has the skirt, and she also appears in the Battle of Peridia set. And then we have Baylan Skoll, who is the master of Shin Hati. And so while they are not Sith, they're certainly not Jedi. I think probably Dark Jedi would be closer to the truth. Baylan Skoll is a former Jedi. He reminds me very much of Qui-Gon Jinn, very intellectual, very mindful, a deep thinker. And, there may have been, at some point, maybe there was some connection or something. I don't know that we know that. And he may have been too young to have known Qui-Gon. But there's a lot of similarities there. It's just that he took a bit of a darker path, it appears. So it'll be interesting to see what they do in season 2. The actor that played Baylan Skoll unfortunately passed away. So will they be recasting him? There's a lot of questions about that. But I think that Baylan was a fantastic character, and the minifigure is a nice one. The print on his face with the gray beard and everything looks very good, and they do a good job of capturing his likeness. Shin Hati is similar, with the hairpiece that they gave her, that kind of the bangs cut off at the forehead, type of a thing that we I guess see every once in a while. And she's a unique individual, and We don't know much about her, so it'll be interesting to see if we learn more as the show progresses. So those are the fighters and the minifigs. So why don't we take a closer look at the builds? So this Republic E-Wing is very unique look to me. It's got the nose of an X-Wing, but it has a completely different wing setup. And so we'll take a little bit closer look at that. But um, I like the way they tapered the front. They do that with a lot of the X-Wing builds, and so that looks good. And they use folding blocks right here to uh, allow it to flare out as it gets back towards the cockpit. And then they covered up a lot of that with this flat piece here. So I love the color of this ship, the white and the blue. They used a number of stickers here. You've got a sticker here, a printed cockpit canopy. So I think that's pretty cool. There's stickers here, and then of course on the other side. Interestingly, they use stud shooters on both of these builds, on Shin Hati's ship as well, which we'll look at shortly. And then another interesting thing is that they put large, long-legged landing gear on this, and it all folds down out of the way. And these are done through Technic pieces. There's a lot of Technic work that goes through this wing, the way the wings are mounted, in order to get the angle. So they use that to hook your landing gear in, and you can fold it out of the way. And then they mounted the engines and everything really in that manner. So it's really interesting. They put this rubber connection piece here, and the landing gear butts up against that, so you've got a little bit of flex. Anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. That was a cool thought. Like I said, stud shooters, which is interesting. Usually ships would have the missile launchers, and then you have the droid socket here that the New Republic astromech droid would fit in. And then you have some greebling and that type of thing through here. There's not really any place for storage on this build, which is okay. This piece uh, is on a little bit of a hinge, but I think that's only to allow it to connect and fit correctly. But it's a nice looking ship. Um, and I think they did a good job of capturing the source material well. You've got the guns on the wings here and the engines, which go the full length back here. Um, and same on the other side. Not a lot of gray, few gray pieces, and some of the greebling and stuff here on the top is gray, but otherwise a lot of blue and a lot of white. And that really makes it look nice. It's just different enough from a coloration perspective and from a build perspective that it is, a completely different ship than the X-Wing, even though its nose uh, seems to have been inspired by the X-Wing fighter. So I like this ship. It's not super flashy. It's not maybe not something that you would always remember. I don't have to often actually think about this. I happen to have these two ships mounted on a wall with one chasing the other one. So they're it looks like they're flying at their angles and stuff like that. So I see them every time I come in and out of the room, but it's not a super memorable build. So it is a good build, though. It is a nice ship, and it is a nice looking ship. Next, we have Shin Hati's Starfighter, and this one is really unique. When I look at it, I get a sense of some of the World War II Japanese fighter planes, where it's a lot of fuselage, and then your wings are a little bit more forward. I don't know if that was the inspiration, but for me, it kind of reminds me of that. I like the color and the red and the yellow, and then you've got the gray kind of base in there. Again, you have a printed cockpit, which I think is really nice, and you have stud shooters for weapons. This front end is very unique. It wasn't hard to build, it was a little complex, but it was hard to figure out what it was at first as you were building it. Very unique front end, and I really kind of like that. And then you have the guns that go up through the fuselage here. And this piece actually comes off, and you have storage. There's a gun in there right now, but you could put other things in there. And then you get to the cockpit. There's just a simple control. This to me is a real winner when they don't put studs in there to connect the pilots, but you put these pieces that the feet can just uh, kind of clip onto. It's easier to get them in and out, and I really like that. I wish that was more common. I've seen it more and more, but I wish they did it a lot more. And then finally, back in the tail, there's another storage place for a lightsaber right here, so Shin Hati's lightsaber can go there. The wings come out to these wing tips, which I think are pretty interesting. Not something that I've seen before. Um, I'm not sure what the significance of those are, but it's a unique design. And like I said, it to me is reminiscent of some of the old World War II Japanese fighter planes. A lot more gray on the fuselage, a lot more red on the wings, and then they use the yellow interspersed throughout. Very unique ship, nice ship. No landing gear on this one. It just sits down here and there. So it doesn't sit up very high at all. It's just a nice looking ship, and like I said, it's unique and just different. And I like it. I like this build. I think this the E-wing and this Starfighter together make a great set. And you've got 5 good minifigures, and so uh, it's a solid win. Now we can take another kind of quick look, a little closer look at the minifigures. So the New Republic astromech droid is also unique. Now, he looks like an astromech droid, so you know exactly what you're dealing with. He's got printing on the front, full printing on the dome, no back printing. But as you look at him, the coloration here is just really unique. All mostly yellow, uh, dark blue, and then what probably is supposed to be dark blue up through the head and the dome, but it's sitting on top of the yellow, so lightens it up just a little bit. But nice, unique droid, and it's nice to be able to get your hands on something that looks just a little bit different. And then this is Captain Porter, New Republic pilot, captain, and he's fully decked out in his flight suit. Very nice, unique helmet uh, with a lot of different color and design on it, so that's nice looking. And then you've got 2 face prints, one with the visor down and then one without. And then you've got a little bit of back printing, no arm printing, no leg side printing, but you've got printing for his flight suit that goes down his legs. So the first time that we've seen him. So also the first time we've seen Morgan Elsbeth. Now, if you are familiar with her, the other version of her character, Morgan Elsbeth is a Night Sister, and not fully so until she goes to Peridia and goes through the convocation with the other Night Sisters. They award her um, a, a larger role in the battle, and then you see more of the face markings and stuff like that than what she has here. But this is we saw Morgan Elsbeth, I believe, the first time when she fought Ahsoka in Mandalorian, and then we saw her again in the Ahsoka series. So she's got the dress here, not the legs, back printing and torso printing, and that's about it. She's she does have a second printed face, a little bit angry. It's probably the better one to use because she's a little bit angry. Now here's Balin's Skull. I like this character. I like the figure that they made for him. The face print is a good one. He's got a second face print, more of an action shot. He's got like a leather armor kind of tunic that he's wearing, and printing that comes down his legs, some printing on the back. It's a unique looking tunic. It's got some green in it. I'm a fan of that character. I think I'm very interested to see what, if anything, they'll be doing with him in the series. Like I said, the actor that played him passed away, which was a real shame. So it will be interesting to see what the Star Wars does next. And Shin Hati, very unique character. I don't know that I had any expectations going into the show what we would be getting for the group of bad guys, but I don't think she was not what I expected. I'm not disappointed. I just don't know really anything about her. I'm not sure. She is very devoted to her master, Balin, but she also seems to have a lot of questions. It'll be interesting to see what they do with her. She's got like a Padawan braid, but they're not Jedi. So again, just very interesting. She has a tunic that looks like it straps up in the back. That's not completely different than what Balin was wearing, just different colors. A very interesting character, and it'll be very, very interesting to see what they do with her in the Ahsoka series. I'm impressed with this lineup. These 5 and these 2 builds make up a really nice set. So that's my review of LEGO Star Wars set 75364, the New Republic E-Wing versus Shin Hati Starfighter. Again, I think these are good builds. I think, there's nothing amazing about them, but certainly they're both fairly unique, especially Shin Hati's Starfighter. And the minifigures are a really solid lineup. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed building both of these. They were fun to build. There was a little challenge in building the E-Wing just because of the way that the wings were set up and the front end. It is a very unique build. So that was fun, and the minifigure lineup is a good one. It's a good set, and I enjoy displaying it on the wall. And I think this is a worthwhile set. Now it just retired, so maybe it's still available, or maybe it's on clearance at some of your local Target or something like that. But it's worthwhile, especially if you enjoy the build process and enjoy displaying. And there are unique touches that make this a more valuable set, like the printed canopies on both of the cockpits. There are a number of stickers on both, not a ton, not too many, but some. And I don't know, just quality builds. I really enjoyed both of them. So I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at both of these builds and the minifigures. If you did and you would hit the like button, I would really appreciate that, and it would help the channel. And I'd like to ask you, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button here and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you soon.